So Ian, you spoke about different stocks that will perform well if Kamala is elected.
Yes.
But what about some stocks that will perform well if Trump gets elected?
Should we gatekeep it and keep it until our session or no?
Now let's throw some darts on the board, man.
Well, there's going to be some overlap. Microsoft will do incredibly well. Visa would do incredibly well. We'll talk about if Uber is going to acquire Expedia later on in the show. I will say the crypto market is going to have a tremendous rise. And I think it's obvious to say that Tesla will go on a tear like it's 2020 all over again if Senior Trump gets back in office. So Uber, Tesla, because Uber's smart. I'll keep the political stuff out because, you know, some of y'all was tight last week, but Uber and Tesla could have a partnership. If Kamala gets in, they're going to do well with her, Microsoft, but Tesla's going to do very well under Donald Trump. And then, of course, Bitcoin ETF and BlackRock will be incredibly well. iBit is moving up that chart of that leaderboard in the ETF space. Shout out to everyone that I saw who works for BlackRock at the Robinhood conference. Shout out to BlackRock. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all dearly from the bottom of my heart. Te amo, all that. But BlackRock is going to do incredibly well going forward. And OpenAI, and if Starlink goes public while Trump's in office, that stock is going to do incredibly well. So Starlink, Microsoft, Uber, Tesla, BlackRock, crypto to the moon.
Yeah, when I saw the question in the notes, I figured Tesla would be part of the conversation.
Absolutely.
We'll get into that a little bit more later.
Yeah, we'll get into that later.
I start to, you know, people always say history repeats itself, and so this isn't somebody, if reelected, that hasn't been president before. So should we go back and look at the sectors that thrived in his last term, which is one way to look at it. I thought maybe we could look at it per sector, and if you listen to the thing that he's passionate about, defense is one of them. Right, like we talk about that, protecting border protection, but defense, foreign policy, like these things that are always brought up in conversation. So if we look from a defense standpoint, companies like Lockheed Martin make a lot of sense. RTX, which was Raytheon, and if you've been following Raytheon, there's a bunch of controversy around Raytheon.
Will do well as well.
Right. So they just got $1 billion contract with the U.S. Navy, and so like RTX and Lockheed Martin, LMT is the ticker. Those are companies inside the defense sector that I would definitely be looking at if he's reelected. The other part would be the financial sector. When we talk about deregulation, when we talk about interest rates, which we know already from the Fed that are going to come down, look inside the financial sector. Who leads? Well, we just saw what Goldman did with their quarter reports last week. JP has been predominantly a leader in that space. So I'm looking at the financial sector as well. And that could be for both, right? That's one of those that I think in both administrations.
Either way, they'll do great.
Financial sector. I think, and this applies to both, but infrastructure, right? That infrastructure bill's already been passed. Who are the companies that are going to take advantage of it? We already know Caterpillar. Vulcan is a company that most people don't talk about, ticker VMC. So if we're looking by sector, you got defense, you got financials, you got infrastructure, but I think pharmaceuticals as well. Pharmaceuticals, when we're talking about pricing, and this is something that's come up from both parties and both campaigns about the pricing, how affordable, how can we make it affordable? What's pharmaceuticals, Pfizer's, Merck's of the world. Obviously, we talk about Lilly all the time, Stryker, we talk about all the time. These companies in this space, in these sectors, especially with all the campaign policies that they're saying, I think the last three, pretty much either way it goes, we'll have some appreciation. But defense was at the top of my list when I thought about it.
Rashad, I got a question for you. If I was a person that had a company that had a brain chip, and then I also had some satellites and I had some robots that are autonomous, wouldn't it behoove me if my friend gets in office to use my robots to be winter soldiers for my friend?
Never know.
Soldiers in terms of defense, defense spending.
Never know. You never know.
Yep.
You never know.
What do I know? I'm just a guy on YouTube, but I see the play setting up clear as day. Gotcha.
So okay.
If Elon put a Draco on one of them robots, send it to Ukraine, boy, we seen how our robot play out.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we watch it now. A lot of wars, there's ground war, but a lot of it is drones.
Drone. Yep.
That's autonomous.
Yep. And maybe that's why the autonomous vehicle movement is so big for that particular company. Well, what do I know? I'm just a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
The autonomous tank.